Oh, and we're back.
Oh.
2018. The year
Of.
that follows right after 2017.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's get straight
yawning
into
already.
it. Yeah, good start. We've been here
Merry
for 10
New
minutes.
Year.
It's the middle of the day and you're fucking yawning.
Alright.
Let's go straight for it.
Had a
Should we go
busy
straight
week,
for it?
dude.
Let's go straight for it.
Let's go straight for
Let's
it.
go straight for it. We've got a lot to talk about, so we've got to catch you up.
Yeah.
We've
We're
not
going to do
watched-
some TV movies and some movies.
We took the break from the podcast as...
Oh!
This is every time you play with something. We took the break from the podcast as... We should probably watch some films. We watched no films really at the cinema.
No.
We watched Star Wars and we...
And
didn't
then we
watch
were
it.
like, I don't want to go back to cinema because it feels like going to work. So,
Yeah. So we kind of gave
so
that a
we
break.
didn't. Yeah,
But then we watched some new stuff.
we did.
Watched Gerald's game. It'd be nice to talk about that, but that was
Oh, I
September.
forgot. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
watch it.
and we felt really bad for not putting it in our awards because it definitely would have
And
won
for horror.
something.
A horror
Yeah,
episode.
For horror.
'Cause
Oh,
that
and
was-
the horror episode, yeah.
After September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scared the living daylights out of me. I'm not going to
Dingles
lie.
out of you.
Huh?
The living dingles out
The
of you.
living dingles. No, it frightened the hell out of me though.
That's alright.
Scary.
It would have been if I didn't think it was Snoke. That's not spoilers. You don't know what that means. No, it did.
People probably People probably do know because they've seen it way before we have because they are up to
Because
date
we're
with their
losers and
films.
we're so behind on every film
Yeah.
bit of news.
Yeah.
Film bit of news? Bit of film news.
New bit
Alright,
of
let's get on with it.
film.
Oh, I should actually, do you know what? I'm going to slide these as Windows 10. Slide your windows. Slide your windows because I've got my notes up and I can't see if Audacity's going to keep recording or it's going to be a little bitch like always and stop recording.
It is
But now I
rubbish.
can. Just going to zoom in on my notes here.
Okay.
Sorry about this, people. We're just going to... It's really good elevator music.
Thank you.
Alright, we're starting off with Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Start off with the TV series.
Huzzah!
out-
It was much
when did it
better
come
than
out?
last. I don't know. No one cares what date it
Came out right
I've
after
seen
Christmas.
it now. Much better than last season.
Which is interesting because I thought Charlie Brooker didn't write season 3. He did series 3. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
English. Series 3.
Yeah.
He did write
But
series
you were
3.
most wrong.
Yeah, he's written all of them. I mean, he's had some help in some episodes, but yeah,
For
series
me-
3 to me when we watched this, I was like, this is pretty mediocre.
It wasn't like in terms of just if you just had season 3 on its own as a series. I don't think I'd be
For
like,
Black
oh, this
Mirror,
is
it's mediocre.
Yeah.
Is that what you want me to say
That's what I
then?
was trying
Because
to-
that was what you're getting to.
That's what I was
All
trying
right,
to
well,
get to, but you interrupted me again.
no,
No, if that had
everything's
just
the
been
same.
on, if that had just been on as its own thing, I would have been like, oh, this is good. But yeah, it's because the first 2 were so amazing.
Series, not
Yeah.
episodes. Yeah. I agree, but this 4th series was much better
Yeah, it
than the
was.
3rd series.
Mhm.
Back up to its standard, back up to its dark.
I don't know if
Bleak
it's back up
standard.
to its standard.
You don't? It's
When
it's
I
like
think of that episode with I can't remember her name, Annie from.
yeah, there's still standouts.
Human.
There'll always be standouts, but I think as a whole, it's because some of the
What
ones this
series
series
was that?
were great.
Because I feel like
2.
was that also the one
Mhm.
with the eye memory.
Entire History of You.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't know for sure.
I feel like either series 1 or 2
It spread its
were
wings a
better.
bit though, because they've not gone. Because if you look at the first 2 series, they're all in like they may as well be in black and white, and they're all like really bleak because they're all really bleak colours. They're all like
right.
really pale. They're all kind of
Yeah.
very like the idea is completely different, but they're all kind of
Yeah.
depressing. Like this one doesn't. It's still like very. Like I said, I keep saying the word bleak, but it's very bleak still. It just
Yeah.
feels a bit. It expands a lot more.
Yeah, it does.
It leaves England,
Yeah. 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 It's not.
and especially but the first
I
episode
don't know,
is
it's
just as good.
Mainly American stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Great accent.
Mm.
Anyway, I was gonna say the easiest way of doing this is going through the episodes.
Yeah.
So the first episode was USS Callister.
Yeah, I think that was my favourite.
I think it was too actually. Looking at
Yeah.
them all.
I think that one was the best one at sort of creating a world and sort of felt like its own thing. It didn't even really feel like Black Mirror.
No, it didn't because it was so Like I said, because it expanded so much from below, because it was colourful and it had a few jokes in there.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's such a good episode, but then at the end I was a bit like, feel a bit more wibbly wobbly with the whole like, let's get out of here by doing this. We're distracting. It was like, it kind of felt like more of like an action kind of plot. It just,
But like, he was still dead inside the old game, which was dark. But they didn't really show that. I know they showed him sort of dead in the chair, but
what's the logic to it all? I was kind of like, they kind of like brushed over it really quickly, didn't they?
Yeah, I was going to say, I
what?
thought maybe I was missing something, but actually no, they didn't really go into it. I thought it was a bit poop.
Yeah, but it was great, and the performance was good, and it was funny. And
it
the
was
idea
really
was brilliant.
funny, yeah, and I think this was definitely sorry, it was my stuff in my throat. I think this is the best acting in the series too.
In a series, just in general.
Huh?
In a series.
Well, as a collective cast, I think this is the best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A very collective cast.
Yeah, well, there were so many people that we already love in it as well. We were like, oh god, oh that person. So I think that probably helped. But as a collective cast, I think it was the best acting too.
So far, we've not said any spoilers, so let's try and not do spoilers. But if you want to say some spoilers, we just go spoilers. And then,
or I'll go
like a seagull.
Mm-hmm.
Next one was Archangel. I don't like the name. That sounds. It doesn't sound. It sounds. It's too. It's like a. That's what I'm going to call my boy. Like my. That's what I'm going to call my metal band when I'm 18.
Oh, I don't think it sounds like that. I think it sounds like this is meant to be something nice, but it's clearly sinister. Do you know what I mean?
Really? I think it's just because I assume Archangel with games and stuff, but it sounds like kind of this is my gamer tag on Xbox when I'm
I know.
15. Not because what it is.
I'm gonna get a tattoo that says Archangel with some wings.
Angel would have been fine.
Yeah.
But Archangel, I think it's because like sci-fi.
Yeah.
Archangel.
Yeah.
But
that's what. Yeah.
That was my least favourite. It wasn't interesting enough. The idea was fine. Like
I thought the idea was amazing in the first 5 minutes. I even said to you, "Oh, this has totally got me." Like in the first 5 minutes, I thought it was amazing. And like we said as it was going on, I think they should have just stuck with her being a child because that was so much more interesting. And
she was an annoying rebelling teen by the end. I don't care for her.
No, I just didn't really care about any of that, and it felt like it went way more into that than the device. And I didn't like that. But
the editing's paused. And it's kept going, so never mind that, folks.
Yeah,
pause.
No. But no, had that had like the filter on, so she couldn't like see the dogs barking, and then she couldn't see her grandfather having a heart attack and stuff. All of that stuff. I thought that's such a good idea, and I thought it was going to go down such a totally different route, but it just kind of went. No, that bit's done now.
Explore more the idea of why she doesn't know how to deal with pain and stuff because she's never seen it.
Yeah.
Not. I'm a rebelling teen and you've ruined my life. The stuff with the pregnancy, I won't say much anymore about that, but that was quite smart. But that's the thing with Black Mirror, what makes it so good isn't just the technology it comes up with, it's the idea of how it manipulates that and makes it work out for the worst.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel like it did that in this episode.
No.
And the hitting bit was like stupid to me as well. And it just didn't, it wasn't that, I wasn't involved with it.
And also she was just a really annoying actress.
Yeah.
She didn't help.
And it's teens. I never like teens and stuff.
No,
really, it's really hard to like,
especially
when they're this kind of.
They're annoying.
Yeah. Getting high and listening to metal.
And doing drugs.
I said that. Getting high.
A plane.
Every time.
A plane.
Next one.
Yeah.
Crocodile.
Yeah.
It's really strange. I don't know why it's called Crocodile.
What
Crocodile's the one in Iceland.
Okay.
I don't remember if there's ever a mention of a crocodile. Maybe there's a crocodile room in the kids' room at the end.
Or maybe that plane's really loud. Or maybe I don't know. Is it something to do with like the nature of a crocodile?
I don't know.
I
don't know. They don't mention it, which is weird. If you're going to have it as that name, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're going to have an animal as a name, then maybe you should mention the animal in the.
Well, no, I don't think they need to mention it, but a
crocodile snaps, as did the woman.
Yeah, well,
there
I
you
don't
go.
know.
I've solved it.
It was weird. Actually, I said that Thingy was my favourite, but that one was maybe my favourite. I think I've changed my mind.
It felt like, but it did, but then there was bumps where I was like, it felt like it dragged in places.
I don't think so.
I can't, because I remember at the very start of the episode, I remember about the next 10 minutes I was like, I can't really remember.
I don't think.
And then when it got to the hotel room, I was like, oh, okay, now this is now.
I don't think there was much between the hotel and the start.
Maybe we just paused it and went for a snack or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds likely. So we're always like, God, this film is really long. No, it's just because we paused it to make more food in the middle. Yeah, that sounds right.
No, that was probably one of the better ones. And again, it was interesting, and I think the whole idea of using like the eye. The only thing I will say with that one is the whole like looking with eyes they've used a few times already. There's a few ideas that they've already used them in Black Mirror. They're just sort of moulding them in a different way.
Yeah, I don't mind that so much because I feel like it's kind of where technology is gonna go.
Yeah,
I feel like
the whole using it to solve crime.
Yeah, that was
that's like a superhero thing. To solve crime.
To solve crime.
Yeah, the tech stuff. Yeah, that was a better one. Next
it was really surprising as well. I was like,
nice.
oh my god.
And the setting helped.
Yeah, the setting was
with the murder.
Yeah, but you've ruined it. You've spoiled it all.
Next
we
one.
went there. If you watch it, we went where she is, and it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Next.
Hang the DJ.
Fuck off.
Fuck off, did you just say?
Fuck off. No.
Hang the DJ.
Yeah, that was the one.
The dating one.
Yeah, the dating.
Which ends very, very cleverly.
Yeah. Actually, I really liked that one.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I liked
this is the second attempt at San Junipero, is what this was.
I don't think
Do you think
so.
I think it was quite similar?
No.
Because it had that twist in the end where it was like, ooh, nothing's real!
But it wasn't not...
No, ignore that. That wasn't a spoiler because it didn't make any sense.
No, and also, it's not
wrong. Yeah, but... Okay. It's inside something. Let's just say that.
Look. There was a girl in it. It's the same.
It was alright, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it just wasn't... I don't know. They're all really good compared to, like you said, last season would have been good if you'd watched it and it wasn't Black Mirror. This season would have been incredible if it wasn't Black Mirror. But like I said, those first two series set a complete like ground level of what this is going to be like.
I did really like that one though. I think that may be dragged in the middle.
Or we just pause it for another snack because we're fat bastards. Next one was Metalhead, which was black and white. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I really liked because this is...
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Why not?
Why was it in black and white? It didn't add anything for me.
Maybe it's just what I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, I know.
Maybe, but it might add to the atmosphere a bit if you're going to make it quite bleak. Like I said, but...
No, I actually think that would have been better in colour because I would have liked to see everything looking... There was nowhere where I thought...
Maybe it was budget. Maybe it's because of budget reasons. Because maybe it didn't look bleak enough, and they wanted to make it look worse by putting it in black and white. Or maybe it's just a style thing. I don't know. But
I also think it would have been a lot more frightening.
I don't think they needed to.
No, I think it would have been a lot more frightening had it not been in black and white. I sort of felt once removed from it, and actually those things the one thing, and then there was more of them.
Maybe it was with the help with the CGI
was
as
a
well.
Lot scarier.
Maybe it helped with the CGI dog robot. If it was in black and white, I bet that's a lot easier because obviously a lot of the bigger. Well, the bigger
make a difference.
Well, yeah, because it's light. It will do. It'll make the light. It'll probably. I mean, I'm not saying this. I don't know for sure, so I might be completely wrong. But like with lighting, the biggest problem with like CGI animals and like motion bits on the background is the lighting. Maybe the lighting's easier to deal with if it's in black and white.
Maybe, I have no idea, but. Yeah,
not as noticeable.
I actually think it took away from it, and it kind of annoyed me.
I really like it because it wasn't trying to be like a. Sorry, it didn't feel like a Black Mirror episode because it wasn't like any kind of like, this is crazy technology, this is how the world is and this is what's happened to it. It was just like, let's just do like a tense chase.
That's what I was going to say actually about this whole series. It didn't feel like, even though some of them did have like a really obvious conclusion, it didn't feel like every episode had to have like a really definitive ending. It was just like, it was just a good, just good storytelling.
It's just a little ride, wasn't it? It's just a little ride along with this.
Yeah.
Which is quite, and because it didn't want any more, because it left you to wonder what's happened here, who owns these things.
Yeah.
Like just all that kind of stuff.
I was gonna say with the the third series, the one with Bryce Dallas with the I thought that episode would have been a lot better had it not had that like really like a big conclusion at the end.
Yeah,
I wish it kind of just got left.
I remember, isn't she in the cell and then she's
with that
like
guy and she's like
smiles
ha
at the guy.
ha ha, and she's finally like truly happy. I just feel like that should have just
because it was a happy ending.
Yeah,
essentially,
because I feel
it was psychotic, but it was happy.
It didn't even need. Yeah, even if it wasn't a happy ending, just I don't think it should have had like a definitive ending like that. I think it should have all just gone really crap and then just kind of ended. Whereas, and I think that's what this one did quite well. I don't always like that, as you know. It's more if I have to look stuff up.
You'd rather everyone was crying and.
Yeah.
Suffering.
Yeah. No, but I think that's
world peace. Not on my watch.
Yeah. No, thank you. Not today. I think that's what this series did really well, is that it just told the story that it wanted to tell, and then if it ended it like in a particular way, then that's fine. But if it didn't, then that was okay too. It kind of just told what it wanted to tell, and then that was it. It was good. It was much better.
The recording is losing its fucking mind.
Why?
You know when we say it like stops, the bar's doing that, but it's like constantly jumping. It's not like going smoothly. It's all jumping. So if let's just say if it sounds anything like it looks, it should be going.
Oh no!
It'll be fine. It'll just be where it's.
Are we still recording now?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Just what I mentioned. Why not? Let's be open. Let's be open this series.
Honest.
Let's throw it out there.
Okay, I'm a man, really. Leo's a lady.
A lady.
A lady. Nah, that's not true.
In case you couldn't work that for yourself. Last episode, Black Museum.
Oh, that was good.
This one's interesting because...
God, this series is really good.
It changes the surface of the series of how... Are they all connected, or is it just like a jokey thing, or should you not look into it? Because obviously there's a lot of Easter... Apparently there's a lot of Easter eggs throughout the series that everyone's searching for now, but in this one especially, because they even point the camera at things from the other episodes, from like previous episodes of other series.
Oh, really?
Because in the museum, didn't they? They had the lollipop from the...
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I said
First
really.
Yeah.
I meant really, because I assumed you meant that there were things that you've seen now that we didn't see.
Oh, no. I want to watch it, actually. I'm really interested to see what else there was. This one felt like I said to you, this felt like Treehouse of Horror from Simpsons, this episode. Yeah. Like, it was just like a few little short stories. Like, and it's that kind of weird horror of like, it's insane. Like Treehouse of Horror used to be really strange, like little stories. It really felt something like that, and I think he might have taken inspiration from that, because I know people love Treehouse of Horror in Simpsons. So
there's lots of things like that now, isn't there, where they do kind of like a weird roundup. It always is, like American shows always do it on like a Halloween episode or a Christmas episode. They always do like a strange like little roundup and give it kind of a theme. Yeah, that's what this felt like.
It was the atmosphere of it.
Yeah.
I don't think what film we watched. Southbound, the horror film we watched where they're on the road. It
like
felt like that kind of weird horror.
Yeah, it did.
Like
it felt really
sinister
similar to that,
and like, because it felt really sinister, really kind of. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, and it was kind of just like an anthology of different tales, which that thing was too.
Yeah, it's the kind of stories you imagine people reading going, and then he turned around, and it was worse. Yeah. Kind of horror, isn't it? Yeah. Which it did. Then I mean.
I would have liked this even more had he not had a really stupid accent.
Yeah.
It was really
Putting
bad.
aside the guy's accent in this last episode,
Yeah.
Because I really liked the episode, and it was a great ending to it.
Yeah,
Although, like I said, I wish they didn't try to, like, humanise the guy who was a prisoner.
Yeah.
And try to be like, oh, he might not have done it because... Well, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah,
it's just like trying to make your, like, protagonist a good
person.
When you don't need to.
No, because you still totally believe that regardless of whether he did it or not, you still believe that his child might want to come and free him, even if they thought he was guilty because it's their father. And actually, it just makes for a much more interesting thing, because people aren't like that in real life. We don't have like truly terrible people and then truly good people go and fight them. Sometimes like people just are people.
Oh, we'll be on to this
I was going to say
3 Billboards.
That is, I was going to say, and that is why we love 3 Billboards so much. I didn't want to.
That'll do it for Black Mirror, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Been talking about it for like 20 minutes.
Good series.
Yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed every single one.
Yeah, just going back through them then, I didn't realise actually how much I liked them, and I didn't realise... There's 6 episodes, wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like 4 of them more than...
Well, Archangel and Metalhead you didn't really like as much, and for me it was Archangel and Hang the DJ I wasn't. But I liked them all still, but they just kind of felt quite mediocre compared to the rest. But that's not bad though, even if I say mediocre, they're still great ideas.
Oh yeah, I know, they're still brilliant. Yeah, definitely.
Alright, on to the next thing then, for our various catch-up on what's happened over the last few weeks while we've been off. Bright, because it's had a lot of... Well, it's Netflix's first blockbuster. And what I will say before we say anything about our review is... Some would say that it's getting trashed, not just because it's, but because critics don't want. Well, supposedly a lot of people don't want to review it well, even if they like it, because they don't want Netflix to do well with it. Because if it's their first blockbuster, that means Netflix now hold sort of power over having blockbusters and their streaming system.
I understand that, and that totally makes sense. But honest to God, I feel like if you put this in the cinema, it would have been absolutely trashed.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I think it would have done well though.
I don't.
It's the kind of film, but it is kind of. It's Will Smith.
I don't. Yeah, but what was that
Transformers
one he did?
does fucking amazing.
One? Yeah, but Transformers is like the work that goes into Transformers is impressive, even though the film is bad and the script is bad and the acting is
but if
Bright
bad. Was released to the cinema, it would have had a bigger budget, so it probably would have looked better.
Yeah, no, it would, but then that doesn't make sense then why they would be trashing it because it's.
Well, they're trashing it because if Netflix do well with their blockbusters, they're making more blockbusters, and then they'll be owning the market.
But they still don't have the money at the moment, so. They're saying they're trashing them so they don't start getting bigger budgets.
So then they don't do as well, and then they won't be making such big budget films, and they stick to doing indie films.
Do you know what I didn't realise? Until we were just writing our notes.
What?
This feels so dated.
What
does not feel like a new film. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a buddy cop where one of the cops is either a robot or a fucking different species.
I know, but you can still have a film like that now that just isn't very good. But this feels old. I feel like this was made like 10 years ago.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's using fairy tales in modern day. Because I don't feel like they've done that massively, unless I've missed stuff. But it doesn't feel like in the last year or so that you've seen much of that. Like I said, because
but Once Upon a Time that's what that is.
Yeah, but it's still going now. But it didn't start now, did it?
No.
Fantasy creatures don't seem popular at the moment, whereas they did a few years ago.
Do you think? I think they're crazy popular.
I think fairies and orcs and elves. I don't know. I kind of know what you mean. I can see what you mean about being like in the past, but I think that's partly because it's Will Smith.
It's not even that. It's not even that. It's not even the creatures in it or anything. I just mean the actual film itself. It feels old. Like this.
Because it's generic.
No. It's not that.
What is it?
I'm saying.
What is it? God damn it!
I'm trying to tell you. You're talking over me. If this came on the TV now, I would be like, oh my God, how old is this? Because it just it doesn't feel. Like the direction, the direction feels old, and it looks old to me.
I don't know what about it looks old. Sorry, I'm confused.
I don't know.
If you were saying it's because it's generic and it plays out like a few years older,
I think that is it too. Yeah.
Especially the final act. That feels like a film that was in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If that's what you mean, but that's the narrative. That's the genericness of it.
The ending feels like an old.
And it's a chosen one plot.
Yeah.
Going into spoilers now. Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers then.
Will Smith just happens to be the chosen one, which I called right at the start of the fucking film because that's as soon as they went, oh, there's Brights, and they said the line.
I kind of.
Well, the Brights don't have to be elves; they can be orcs or humans. So one of those two are going to be one of them.
I know you said it, and I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, no, I thought it as well. I definitely thought it as well. But I kind of when we first saw the advert of it, like a little while ago, I just assumed that was what it was going to be, is that Will Smith is a Bright.
Yeah.
And then when it was like this reveal at the end, I was like, well, yeah, obviously. I know you said it as well, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I've basically first thing I start off with is saying about the law. We said about Elf Town and speaking Orcish.
Yeah, like what did they say? The Elf District, doesn't it?
Elf District. I thought it was Elf Town.
Yeah, no, they did say Elf Town, but then at another point they said
Elven District.
The Elven District, and why didn't they
Elven
just stick
Town's a
with
bit
that?
better than Elf because when you hear Elf, what do you think of? I think of Christmas.
Well, yeah, exactly.
When you hear Elven, what do you think of? I think of fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. But when he said the Elven District, I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But when he said you can't go through Elf Town, I was like, what? This is like.
So why have they called it town? It's in the city and it's a district.
I know. I don't know.
We said that's the thing when they said they speak Orcish.
I think I said this to you. When Jimmy Fallon does those plays that the kids send in, and he like gets a celebrity and he does the plays with them. It sounded like a library. Yeah. We can't drive through Elf Town.
Yeah.
It's really bad. I didn't. Yeah.
I think all that kind of stuff, and then it was like all the orcs are dressed in like gangster get-ups.
Yeah.
It was like you could have had it'd been interesting if you thrown it the other way around and put orcs as in like the rich and explain in the film.
Yeah.
Well, the orcs used to be poor, and then there was an uprising, and then it ended up being on the higher side.
That would have probably been the more interesting film. This was just. I don't even know why why we had to meet his family at the start and stuff. Well, I do.
They never came back.
It was just and it was just so later he could say, "Oh, I want to be like you. I wish I had a family," and then later to go, "Oh, just like think about your daughter." Well, it's just so it's crap. It's just such.
His wife wasn't really in it after. No. She came up once.
Do you know what? I'm sorry.
I can't remember what I was going to say now. You've ruined it.
Sorry.
I'm joking. What are you going to say?
You can't remember. I was going to say, I thought the most interesting bit in this film was when he went outside and like battered that fairy to death. That was the only point I was like, oh my god, like that's really bad. But that would have been more interesting, like the violence between all the different races, but using fantasy characters. Like that's quite a current issue, but
yeah, I think they did kind of
spin on it.
Teeter on that.
I mean, they did.
We didn't go in with a good impression for this film because it's by the director of Suicide Squad, which really were like, well, that was terrible.
Shows.
And then also we found out that it was up for best makeup, which also.
You know, I actually forgot that before when we started watching it. Yeah, but it feels quite like Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad.
Alligators and sewers.
No, they touched on it by keep saying, oh, like the people don't like the orcs, or people hate orcs, or people hate orcs. Yeah, I get that, but they didn't actually go into it. They didn't actually delve into that at all. They just kept saying it a lot.
No.
It was just really...
Yeah.
It was I thought it was very poor. The more I think about it, the more I hate it.
I didn't mind the first half of it so much. I think all the stuff with the cops was interesting and trying to set up him because he's the only orc on the force. It also annoys me that there's only ever one orc. That's the thing I found with Zootropolis as well.
Yeah, because it felt like that.
Huh?
It felt like Zootropolis.
What? Because there was one... Yeah, but they were trying to kill... They didn't try and kill Judy Hopps.
They didn't try and kill her, but they were trying to get her off the force.
Did they?
She was the first bunny cop, yeah.
No, took the piss out. They didn't try and get stitch her up to get her off the force, though.
Yeah, they did try and get her off the force. Well, they make her a meter maid, don't they? And then they say like you've only like unless you solve this, she like begs for a case because she's.
Well, they're just being prejudiced. They weren't like.
No, because she messes up, doesn't she? She chases that little ferret thing because she thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she trashes that town, and they're like, right, that's it, you're off the force. And she's like, no, give me another chance. They're right. And they give her an impossible case to solve and say, you've got 48 hours or you're out. They do try and get her off.
Well, kind of, yeah, but I mean, there's not like a conspiracy of like trying, yeah.
No, but I think that is the reason, because they say from the start, like, oh, she's like a bunny cop and like you're never going to make it and stuff, and everyone hates her and laughs at her. Yeah. So it's very similar.
Yeah. Well, the point I was making as well is it always makes you laugh how it's always this is the first one.
They don't try and murder her though. There's not a shootout.
Yeah, there is. The foxes gang up and fucking corner her.
Rip her ears off. It's awful. She does get clawed though.
No, she does. It's quite brutal.
But
do you know what I mean? There's always like by this point, like he's the first orc, but like by this point, and it just happens he's the one that also proves. It wasn't like they're not. It's not always the first person who is doing like. It's the first to like, but then it also ends up being the first person who starts the revolution.
Yeah.
Like it was like
such
he's the first orc on the force. Yeah. Couldn't he have been like the first? Couldn't there be two other knobheads on the force that were orcs?
Yeah, exactly.
And they were getting picked on too, and he just. I found that really odd with Blade Runner.
What?
That line in Blade Runner at the start when you had Ryan Gosling walking through the station, they were like taking a piss at him because he was a replicant. I was like, that's really surprising. I felt that might have been a bit of Ridley Scott because
I thought that was a bit silly, to be honest.
when he walked around, they were like going at him and stuff because it felt really out of the film, didn't it?
Yeah, and also, do they do that every day then? Like, how long has he been there? What, every day people were saying stuff to him? I doubt it.
It was just it's such a small little bit, but yeah, it was really strange with that. And again, was he the only replicant on the force? And
it'd be cool if there was just like a scene where they just like were clearly avoiding him or something, because that would be believable that has happened over a long time. That
it was like everyone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As he walked through.
But they were like skin job.
That's trying to remember what they called it. That was it. Skin job.
It's just. Yeah, I don't believe that every time he walks down the hall, someone has something to say. It's very silly. Yeah, what did you say?
It sounds gross.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was.
And also, humans are skin jobs. We've got skin.
Rude.
Yeah, it does. It sounds rude.
Yeah, it just felt like a really bad like TV movie that you'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe that person. Do you know? It felt like that really crap film that. There's loads of like stars in from before they were famous. Do you know what I mean? Where you go, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. That's so embarrassing. Yeah. But like they've just done it like well into their careers. It was it's not. Yeah. The makeup was good.
Aside from the shit, there was
amazing.
some good stuff. Like the makeup was all right.
Yeah.
And, like,
it wasn't as amazing
people were
as
saying
about though. I mean, it was very good. It was very good.
Joe Egerton's performance, everyone was saying about and saying like he was great. I was like, he's fine, but he's a bit over the top. He's like Flash in Justice League. It's a bit too much.
So over the top.
Doesn't suit the atmosphere of the film.
Oh,
and, like,
I talk. Oh, I don't understand. What?
It's a bit much at times.
Shoot my gun. Okay.
Saying the good stuff though, the stuff with the cops where they tried to turn on Jacoby. That's it. Jacoby. Jacoby. Like when he says, "Oh, when either you're gonna be here and we'll kill you both, or you go out and we'll kill him." Like that whole bit was quite tense to watch.
That was the only good bit.
I don't know why he asked who was lined up where.
No, I know.
Because he wanted to take out who was better with a gun first, because that would have been smart. But then I don't know if I'm pretty sure he shot the shittest first.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Shot the shit. Who shot the shittest? I'm pretty sure he went.
Yeah, so it didn't really make any.
Or maybe it was because he wanted to leave the other guy standing because he was the biggest dick out of all of them. I don't know. That bit was fine, and like some of the lines, like I said, I thought like.
I was going to say that to you.
What?
I completely forgot. Yeah, they were all standing in a line. I'd just be like, look, they're all stood in a line.
Yeah, but there's a reason why. It must have been a reason why he said who should.
It was not clear though.
No, it wasn't at all. I don't know why he did it now. I assume it's because it was trying to take out the one's best with a gun first.
Yeah, I don't even know now.
He's trying to work out who shot the shittest. There was a line towards the start of the film where he gets threatened by they're all, and everyone's like the really generic, like the people who want to get the Orc of the Force are dickheads, even though they are just like doing their job as well.
Yeah.
When they said to him, and he says, "If you mention my family again, I'll crack your head open," or I'll. And I was like, that's a good line, because instead of saying, "I'll kill you," he's like, "I'll crack," because it sounds more brutal and it sounds more realistic. He said, "I'll smash your head open."
Yeah.
But then they kept like doing that, it's like saying the F word constantly, and like, do you know
saying
what I mean?
the F word.
Saying the F word, and it was, I couldn't deal with it. Like, there's a bit there behind the car, and they're having a shootout, and like, I can't remember, they kept saying like, "Fuck you up" and stuff. I was like, they're trying to be gangster or something. I was like, it kind of was too much.
Yeah.
At times.
And also, I felt like, at the end. I meant to say this to you at the time, because he kept having to like talk Jacoby through like what he was doing, and he kept being like, "Oh, whoops, oh," and like making all these stupid mistakes. And at the end, he was like, "You're a good cop." I was like, "No, he isn't. No, he's not. You keep having to tell him what to do, and he keeps messing it up. He's a rubbish cop."
It's really funny, isn't it? Because this is like, how many films have Netflix done? And some of them are fucking phenomenal. There's absolutely great films on there. It's this part of the culture now to go, we're making our first blockbuster. Yeah. Traits of a blockbuster. Budget.
Yeah.
Fairy tale.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Really, really bad.
It's got to have a shit. It's got to have no story.
Honestly, and also, if this didn't have Will Smith in it, everyone would have gone, "What the hell is
this?
Everyone would. What is this? Why have they done that? Why have they spent all this money?"
It's a strange role for Joe Egerton.
Really strange.
It comes at
role.
night to...
Yeah,
Bright.
I know. I kept trying to keep that in my head and go, "Oh God, yeah, that's him."
Give him a midnight special as well. And I was going to I did Brighton this for. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Good job you got the makeup on, mate.
I did think he was. Yeah, he was way too over the top.
It's weird.
It's a very bad film, I think.
Oh, we didn't rate any of these. What do you give Black Mirror out of 10?
Black Mirror, I will give 8.
Out of 10?
Yes.
I'll give it an 8.3.
Well,
no, do you know what? No, for a TV series... No, come on, that's better. I'm better than that. 8.7, because for a TV series it was great.
Yeah, 8.5.
Copy me, you lamb. I'm joking. And then for Bright...
I don't want to talk about it. Bright, 2.
2? Yeah, like a really angry chub. 2? I don't like all.
I want it by 2.
And I'm going to say... 4.
What? Why?
I've watched worse films.
That's like saying half of it.
Okay, because if it was a 2, when I asked you 4 times, should we keep watching, you would have gone, "No, fuck it, turn it off."
Wait.
What?
I couldn't. No, because I wanted to talk about it. It's still interesting to talk about bad films as it is American films. Also,
yes.
Are you telling me that you thought that film was almost half good? Because I don't. I
don't mind the first.
True.
I didn't mind up to the point in the cops.
Oh dear.
I said 4. That's
terrible.
Well, you know what? This cost me nothing anyway.
I'm upset with you.
Right. Well, I'll make sure I score the next film low then.
There's still a polar bear decoration up.
Yes, there is. Very perceptive of you. I'll score the next film low then.
No. I'm not giving that.
Oh, Christ. All
Let's
right.
move on.
On to the next thing that was a big... It's good because we've watched all the things that had quite a lot to...
This is the greatest
Let's just
show!
fucking get on with it.
Everything you ever want. Everything you ever need. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's everything I ever needed.
What are we going to talk about next?
I just sang it.
Yeah, well, they might not know the words, you poop. You just said this
The
is
greatest
the greatest
showman.
It's actually man. Showman.
Greatest showman.
The greatest showman. Come on. I want to talk about... Would you like to start with the negative point or end on it?
What is the... Oh, what? The story?
Or the missed
Yeah, go on then.
potential, what I said about when it came out, that's a shame, and I think
go
it
on.
would have done a lot better.
Yeah, go on.
I don't mind that they didn't.
It wouldn't have done better. I don't believe that.
Critically, I think it would have.
Critically, yeah.
It definitely would have.
Yeah, but I don't think it couldn't have done better for audience,
wouldn't have-
really.
No, well, you told me it hasn't been that popular, so...
Huh?
You said to me the other day you didn't think it was doing very well.
Yeah,
Actually,
and
until I
and
said
then
about
we
it being
said-
out
yeah.
Boxing Day. Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, no, I said it doesn't seem like it's fitting out very much, and we've only got it in small screens. But I was thinking it's only just come out because we were away from work. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
it did really well, and it's #1 in the UK charts. Well deserved.
Don't get me wrong. It for what it is and what it had to do. It has done a bloody good job at it, and it is the perfect hook for people. But I said I
Hang
think
on.
that there was missed.
Hang on,
What?
there's an orb outside.
Orb? Dude,
Sounds like there's
orb.
some weird orb, like
When
Going
have
in
you
the
ever
house.
heard orbs make noises?
no, like a big.
A plane.
No, it sounds like a big like spaceship.
Why didn't you say spaceship then? Why did you say orb?
Because I was imagining it like round and like an orb.
All right.
So-
I'm going to give her a medicine after this podcast.
Go on.
Missed potential.
Yeah, go on then.
I was going to say about... Well, when I came out, I said the problem with this, and I think the reason why This Is Me is probably the most popular song off of it, even though it's not the best song, is because that is the one that
I don't think it is the
centres-
most popular. I think it just won the award, but I don't think.
Okay, why did it win the award? Well, then the reason why it won the award, then, I think, is because it's the one that centres on the idea of the freak show, like the people with... They're not... I don't know what you'd call them. They're disabilities?
They
They're not,
don't
are
all
they?
have disabilities, no.
They're... I don't know how you would...
Well,
I don't want to call them a freak show all the time, but I don't know how to...
no. Well, I think it's just
People with strange...
what did he say? He said people.
Mutations. I'm going to say mutations.
But they don't all have mutations.
No.
Though. What did he say? Like, not people of interest. People of.
Mutants.
Yeah, that's it. No, people of. I can't remember. But anyway, people with
Extraordinary?
Yeah,
Extraordinaires.
extraordinary people.
I don't know. Anyway, basically the people that were in the freak show,
Yeah.
as I quote, because that's what they're called in the film.
He did air quotes.
I think that song did won the award because it was on the centres on them, and I think because bear in mind this film, I feel like this film was quite about acceptance, or was pointing. It wasn't, but it was pointing in the direction of saying this film is about accepting who you are. Being the song's called This Is
definitely.
Me.
Yeah.
But the film,
And it is a great song as well. It is brilliant.
and
yeah.
she's a good singer, and it's actually her
She's
singing
incredible.
it, which is
Yeah.
nice. I think the point I'm trying to make is.
Yeah.
It feels like this film is trying to point in the idea of this is who we are. This is
Yeah.
we should be proud of who we are. Should be happy with who we are.
Yeah.
But then it centers on Hugh Jackman, which is fine because he's the main guy. But it centers on the people who are around the show, like the people setting the show up, and
Yeah.
circles around the actual freak show a bit instead of focusing on it doesn't. You never focus on the individuals of the freak show.
Yeah.
They're like a collective in this.
Yeah.
I know that the woman with the beard gets a bit more focus, but you don't know anything about her. Like by the end of the film, you couldn't tell me anything about her. Like
No.
you could just say.
Yeah.
This is them as a collective.
Yeah.
But then I think it's a bit of a shame because they never feel like anything more than this is everyone looking at them, and they do feel like they're sort of objectified as opposed to being like characters.
Yeah.
Like I said, then you had the bit in the bar when they were singing; it was lovely.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
But you don't know anything about them, and then
No.
you said to me, yeah, but they were treated like that. I was like, yeah, they're treated like that, but then we can still see what it's like from their perspective. Or you could try and humanize them a bit more in this film because they're not very they're not humanized very much.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Well, the small person is. I think he is a little bit played as a joke. I don't think he is massively.
I don't think so.
I guess not.
I
I
don't
don't know, but I think him riding the animal with the suit. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's just what.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Well, I know it's probably I know, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying anyways is that it would be nice if it was focused on the individuals in that group.
Yeah. I do know what you mean, and I understand that. But I don't think saying it's missed potential is right, because it just depends on what film they wanted to make. And I think the reason that critics are going, oh well, they didn't focus on this, that and the other, I think because this film was marketed with that song at the forefront, and all the adverts were the people in the freak show going, this is me, and it looked like it was going to be a film about acceptance and loving yourself and being who you are and being proud of it. And because it wasn't that, I think then they went, they've totally missed the point. But I don't think it's that. I think that's not the film they were making. They were making the film about P.T. Barnum, and I think that I think it's more that they marketed it as something else.
Yeah. But two sides of that, I agree and I disagree. I agree that when I say missed opportunity, I don't mean the film failed because it didn't do that. I'm saying it's a shame. Personally, to me, I'm ashamed it didn't do. It's a shame to me it didn't do that, because for me that would have made a more interesting idea.
I think it would. I think, but I would be happy if there was another film about that. But I think this film wasn't about this.
And if it was just about P.T. Barnum, if it was just about him, it'd be fine. But I think because it steers off and it shows Zac Efron's character quite a bit, and has his whole the stuff of his. But he has an arc though. He has an arc in the film.
Yeah.
But it's his side of being. It shows his side of then becoming to accept other people, as opposed. And again, like I'm saying, it's showing his side as opposed to showing maybe Zendaya's side of it, or how she's mistreated and how she has to deal with now being accepted when she wasn't before, and putting it in reverse as opposed to it being. He's the white male and he's now accepting it, and he's the one who's become. What I'm saying is, all the people start they're all a bit twatty, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And then it's all about them becoming good, as opposed to the other side of just showing these people who are genuinely kind people, but they're mistreated.
Yeah, the only thing I would say about I know they did go into Zac Efron's character a bit, not obviously nowhere near as much as they did with Hugh Jackman's, but the film is called The Greatest Showman, and it is about. It's about that. It's obviously meant to be about that side of it, because otherwise it'd be called.
No. But then I think about the posters as well. Okay, but but in his life, in this film, and in this whole plot, the closest people to him and the ones and I said about the story of him is this idea of the freak show. But if you look at the posters, it's him, it's his wife, it's Zac Efron, Zendaya, and it's Rebecca Ferguson. All these Hollywood actors.
Yeah. Oh no, I know.
Who are made out to be absolutely stunning, but none of them. But even though the woman with the beard has her own song, she's not on any of the marketing either, and she's not. And I think it is because audiences aren't as accepting, and they won't be as pleased. I
don't think it's that, because if the bearded lady was being played by, I don't know, who's a really famous actress that could have played that part, because if it had been a famous person, I guarantee she would have been on the posters. I think it's because she's an unknown.
Because of money.
Yeah, I don't think it's because she's a bearded lady, because I don't believe that people today will go, there's a bearded lady in that, I'm not going to see that. I don't think it would.
I think it just is the whole idea of glamorising posters up. But I think you're right, it probably has to do with the budget.
They're always going to use the faces.
But it's a shame, but then why are the famous people playing, it would be nice to have, if you're getting all these crazy actors to play all the family that don't have extraordinary kind of or things about them, why would you not get as big actors and actresses to play some of the freak show? I thought it was really
surprising that they had Michelle Williams. I thought that was awesome.
It was surprising. I didn't expect her in this, but
But she's the only family member that was a really well-known person.
Well, no, but then but what I'm saying is, but then you had Zac Efron playing.
Yeah.
But then who did you have?
And actually, but that I don't mind, because he's really talented and he fit the role well. But if you're just picking famous people for picking famous people because you want famous people in it, that would bother me. But he's really talented and he really suited the role. She was, but I like that because she can sing as well. Again, I don't mind if she's talented. If she can play the part well. She can sing the part well. The one that has bothered me is Rebecca Ferguson, because they picked her because she's famous and she's pretty. But she can't sing that song. So find someone that can.
Well, that and Zendaya does as well. And we said about why Zendaya's a bit bothering or what's going on there. We may be completely wrong. I mean, it's fine to say we might be completely wrong, but it's just weird that they make it her twin in this. Has obviously got a lot darker skin.
Yeah.
And she obviously she still is.
Yeah, but
black, but she's. But that's what we're saying. It's very odd that they said they're twins, and we said we don't know if that's them afraid to cast someone who is with darker skin,
darker skin,
which isn't fun to say because I'm saying there's no issue with that. I'm saying it would have been like I don't know if there was like an issue if they didn't want to cast someone with darker skin,
or if they just. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if they just want her in it because she's like so current, like she's.
And if they did that, it would have made more sense to make her twin have lighter skin. Just for like for a sense thing, but I mean they could I assume they probably could still be twins. It was just very strange and very kind of like, and like I said, if it wasn't for everything else, it wouldn't have been as jarring. But I think, But no, that was the only thing I was saying. Well, I don't feel like they've done it wrong by not going into that. I'm just saying as a personal thing, but obviously from my point of view, it would have been hard to fit it in anyway if they were going to focus on them. Yeah. But I think because you've got
I agree with you. It would have been a really awesome film if that's what they were doing, but they would have had to do that from the start.
Yeah, that would have been the whole
That would have had to have been what the film was, and it would have had to have been called something different. You couldn't have had Hugh Jackman in the role. It should have been someone vaguely kind of known, but pretty much unknown, and then they would have been all the marketing for it.
I'd be intrigued to see how much runtime there was between when he fucked off to go with Rebecca Ferguson and when he came back, because in that section there, could have. I wonder how long it was, because it doesn't feel like it went very long. But if it was like at least 10, 20 minutes, you could have had a bit more focus on. I just mean like one scene. There wasn't really any scenes of like the freak show, just like.
Well, only
there were a few bits, but only
there was
like,
when he was like coming and going, and they kept saying like, "Oh, he hasn't even got time to like come and say hello or say goodbye to us." And
but it's that kind of. It's that really. I think it's just that whole undermining thing of that, and then it's because they've now been. I don't know. I think I've said it's absolutely fine for what it is, but like it's like I said to it, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I forgave him too quick, and Zendaya forgives Zac Efron too quick, in my opinion as well. Like he's embarrassed to be with her because she's of another race. Yeah,
he does.
I know there's more because you have the whole song.
He does straight away say like that he's sorry and takes her to the theatre, and then he tells his parents off and stuff.
But you get what I mean. The focal point is on the white male side of. This is their arc, and this is how. And then it's like there doesn't feel like there's much forgiving.
Yeah, no, I get that. I do get that. Yeah.
But past that, because we're talking about the positives, because I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's interesting on the kind of.
I do. I totally understand what people are saying, but I just think I don't have a problem with like big stars being in it if they're good for the role. I've got no issue with that.
Completely agree.
Rebecca
Picking
Ferguson,
Hugh Jackman,
I do have an issue with because she can't sing that song, and And so
also, if they wanted to, I have no issue with like the I don't mind the casting. I just meant if you're casting big actors, then. Yeah. But then she could sing. But then I don't know.
I'm not saying they should have had Lauren.
I will always say pick smaller actors because it's nice to get people. Because I'm sure there's people just as talented as Zac Efron. Could be in that role.
But so prime example. This like Hugh Jackman, Zac Efron, Michelle Williams doesn't bother me because they were all brilliant. They can all sing, they can all dance, blah blah blah. Beauty and the Beast, Emma Watson. That's a terrible choice. That's obviously to put her on the poster to get all the Harry Potter fans in, all the young fans, all the fans our age in. Like she's a clean, like looking acting person. Like.
Yeah.
They could have got an insanely good singer and a new face in for that, but they were never going to do it because it's Disney and because they wanted to make a shed load of money off of it.
Yeah.
But this I don't mind because they are all singers and they are all dancers and I don't mind.
I have no issue. I'm just saying no, but I'd just say I'd prefer because I'm sure you could pick smaller people who are just as good singers and dancers.
Oh God, yeah, no, definitely. But, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes, With the rest, but Hugh Jackman, I feel. I don't feel like there's anyone on earth that could do it as well.
You got your one big, fucking heavy caliber there. And I mean, if you ever because you didn't
I completely agree with you.
Because Michelle Williams wasn't really needed for this. Like,
no,
she's fine now. Like she's fine and she's good in it, but she's not in it enough.
No, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
Because I said, have you ever seen those children before? When Hugh Jackman and the girls, their children, have you ever seen those people before? No, and they were fucking great.
They had such a lovely relationship as well.
And you'd never seen them. It didn't take away from it because you were like, I've never seen it. If anything, Ad's not seen it before.
I totally agree. That's what I'm saying. Prime example, Emma Watson. I was like, for God's sake, that's just picking people for picking people. No, I think it would have been a lot better if you just had Hugh Jackman and then a bunch of unknowns. I mean, there was only sort of 4 faces in there, though, to be fair, that we know, and then the rest were a whole new cast, which actually you could have then started to have a whole cast of faces that we know playing the other roles, and they didn't do that, so I don't mind that so much. Like the rest were new faces, so
Yeah,
I guess
but then it's a shame
actually
because
have
they're the ones that
probably
were
done it
new
less than
faces
other
didn't get
films.
any screen time really, other than obviously the lady with the beard, and she will forever be known now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always have to be small actors. Like as we're about to talk at last,
Just choke a little
I
bit.
just died a little bit. When we go into the last film, Three Billboards.
Yeah.
I know all those. I don't know the main one too well, but we know all of their faces, and it doesn't take away at all from the film.
Yeah.
And it's not so it can work the other way.
No.
Next thing, do you want to talk about? Let's go on some positive stuff with it. Want to talk about
Music.
do you want to talk about the music first? Then?
The music is so amazing, and I'm so glad that it's number one because
Number one in what you might want to say?
in the UK chart. Sorry. Yeah, number
It's
one.
number
in the
one
UK
in my
chart.
heart.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Number one on my SoundCloud. No, Spotify. Because it's annoying. People go, oh, it's a musical. Oh, singing, dancing. Like, fuck off. It is. These songs are hard to write and they're hard to sing, and I think musicals always get such a bad press from people that don't like musicals. They just get really sort of sideswept and just
It's just not in popular culture, is there, any musicals? I think it might start making
And
an
do you know
outbreak
what?
again because of...
I also feel like if half the people that like musicals that were embarrassed to say they like musicals would be honest and say that they like them, then it wouldn't get such a bad press.
I said I have no issue with musicals. I just said
Yeah.
I think you have to pull to make it a good film. If you take away the music, you'd have to make that's the mean because it feels, like I said to you before, it feels quite jarring if you don't make the in-between scenes feel like they match the music.
Yeah.
It feels like, what the fuck, why is everyone getting up and dancing?
Yeah, I
You
feel
have
like
to have
that's
the right kind of
something
attitude.
that this didn't have a problem with though.
Yeah. Like I said in La La Land, like the thing with that was, a lot of the songs felt like they were actually singing, they were actually dancing, so it worked as a musical, but then when like the weirdest bits in La La Land was the bit when they go up into the stars and start hovering, so it's like, the fuck?
Where has that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the very start, you're like, what the fuck is happening? Because
I hated the start of that.
Yeah.
I hated the start of La La Land. I still do.
Bits like that are odd to me. And then the bit when she's in the audition, because did she actually sing in the audition?
Oh, no.
Because it's just my head trying to go, right, well, what makes sense here? Because that doesn't make any sense. Like Scott Pilgrim, technically. I mean, I call that a musical in some way. Like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That works as well for me because the music is them playing it and it fits in with the plot. It's like they're actually doing the bits of singing in that. Yeah. But and I think this is fine as well because I can... Obviously, they clearly... In the scenes, they probably aren't going to be singing like when they're at the bar. It's kind of odd that they break into song and dance. Yeah. But it fits the film because the whole film is set around. Like I said, the film works as what it is, completely like perfect. It's like I said about Star Wars. It is what it has to be, and it works well as that.
I think as well, Hugh Jackman's got a really good voice for it in the way that he almost starts a lot of the songs kind of singing to himself, and you kind of like you buy that he hasn't just gone la 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 la.
He starts whispering and I need subtitles because I can't know what he's actually saying.
And then it builds up, and then I totally buy it because it doesn't feel like you say, it's not jarring. You don't go, oh, he's singing a song all of a sudden. I don't think he's got a really good way of He's got so much passion as well. It just comes through every time, with everything that he does. But obviously, he is a really passionate sort of singer.
His song and dance and logo is gorgeous,
isn't it? Though it's just it's spellbinding. I would say is the word I would use. No, he's brilliant in this, and if I could remember that girl's second name, Lauren. What is her name?
I don't know. You're talking about.
Sorry, I will remember it. But the girl that sings Never Enough, her voice is absolutely ridiculous. It's terrible. It's amazing. I just think the music's amazing, and it's not normally in musicals. Well, for me anyway, I normally have like 2 or 3 songs that I love and will just keep playing, and then the rest are kind of okay. But this, I just feel like it's all quality music. Like they've really worked on these songs sort of from beginning to end, and they all feel like complete things. Like you said, you could just watch each sort of each song as like a set piece by itself, and it's really entertaining in itself. And I feel like that's
what I said to you. So if you took out between the songs, you'd probably still love it.
That's what I just said. You said to me, that you could just watch all of these on their own. But I think that's amazing that you don't.
The only thing I can say about my opinion on the music is I wasn't keen on. Like Never Enough, I think is a very nice song by itself. because it sounds like it's just a song you'd sing. It doesn't sound like part of a musical.
Yeah.
I think they're just because of my taste in music. I'm not a massive fan of a lot of it because it's very poppy. But for what it is, it works perfectly, and it is very, very, very catchy.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly catchy.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can hate. I don't hate it.
No.
And I don't think you can hate on it because it's very catchy and because
they're well written.
and that's what musical should be. It should be catchy. You
Yeah.
should remember the. You should remember that. It should remember the song, and you should want to sing and dance when you hear it. Which is, that's what I'm saying. It's perfect for what it is.
Yeah, yeah. And also the choreography is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good. I think
that's why I really liked it. The choreography was great.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how much of it.
It's really well directed.
I like to watch the behind the scenes of the choreography and see how much their edits there were and how many cuts there were between it, and like how.
I've seen bits of it,
if
and
bits
not
of it were CG or like bits of it were.
Yeah, not a lot.
Please.
Bless you. I think everyone's seen that video of Zendaya and Zac Efron. Have you seen that?
No.
You know the bit with the trapeze where they sort of swing around the outside and come together? There's just loads of videos of them just
fucking up.
smashing into each other. And yeah, she said that apparently the director said to her, like, you might want to start like working out because as soon as you get here, we're going to start like trapeze training and you're going to have a lot of upper body strength.
Yeah.
And she'd been like training on this rig that was really small, and then when she got there, the rig was like 20 feet higher and.
Oh yeah.
Hell just happened to.
You just went from smoking 9 to smoking 20.
Yeah. That was weird. Yeah, and it was like loads higher and stuff.
God,
so she was.
terrifying.
I know.
I'm gonna sleep tonight now.
Something
Hello.
something went in my throat. That scared me because I didn't sound like myself. But yeah, no, I think they all trained really, really hard for it. I think it's brilliant. I loved it.
No.
I had a physical, emotional reaction. And also, there hasn't been a film for a while like this, because even when La La Land came out, loads of people were like, oh, it's so nice, and it's just nice to see something that puts a smile on your face and is a really good musical. But then there was loads of people going, I hated it. Like, I felt like that had a lot more light and shade in terms of people. Either
the way to say Greatest Showman, if you like the trailer, you'll love the film.
Yeah, everyone likes this.
Yeah.
Even like you, this is not your thing at all. But even you,
I
know you said like the missed
line,
opportunity, but you can appreciate that it's a very.
I think La La Land, it comes across as a subtlety compared to this. I think because people who weren't sure on La La Land, there'd be a lot of people who would be like, oh, I'll go and see what it's like
because
it's Gosling.
for people that don't like musicals.
Because it was Gosling and because it was much more low key. People were like, oh, I'll go watch it. Stop it.
Sorry.
People go, oh, I'll watch it. And also, there wasn't as much of a musical at all. It was a film without the songs. People will go watch it because this one, if people don't like this kind of thing, if they weren't sure online, they're not going to go see it at all because they'll be put off. Because I was put off a little bit with the trailer. I was like, to me, they showed too much trailer. I was like, oh, fucking hell.
But if you look at like the two lead performances, Ryan Gosling is like the subtlest of the subtlest. Like he doesn't really even act, does he? He just kind of is there, which is amazing. Like he obviously does act. I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's really sort of, he underplays stuff in a good way. Whereas Hugh Jackman is like, he's all singing, all dancing. Like he is obviously that's why he got picked, because he is a big sort of showman, and I know, but that's the right word though. He is the greatest showman.
Be good to leave it there. Should we scores for that, because we are quite far in here. We haven't even started the main course. Right,
9.5. 10!
Oh, you're going to stab me.
10 for my happiness. Oh, I'm just expecting a 4.
No, I wouldn't go that low. How mean? I've not been that mean about it at all. I've just been honest about it. A 1 out of 10.
2.
I'll give this a 7. Is that fair enough? You okay with that? Yeah. You're going to hate me?
That's fine. Right.
Well, I love Bright, and you've ruined that for me. Couldn't say it with a straight face.
We can get through it.
On to the main course then.
Yeah.
The one that come out this week, so we're not behind on.
Yeah.
3 billboards outside. I keep wanting to say West Ebbing, Missouri. I don't know fucking why. Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah.
Won Best Picture at the Golden Globes, actually, for drama. Is it drama? Yeah. It won Best Picture anyway. Sam Rockwell also won
Best Supporting Actor.
Yep. For this as well.
She won. What she win?
I don't know if she won something, actually. That's a very good point. I think she did win.
Or did she just
awards.
go up?
Maybe. Oh, she did win. I think she probably best leading actress. Probably. Yeah. Should I have a look?
Are they still doing actresses? I thought they were doing just best lead.
No, they're doing actors and actresses. I said we did that in our awards. I said to you, we're doing leading. We just do leading actor and do both genders.
Oh my god, we're so ahead of the times.
I know we are. God. Frances McDormand, what did you win, love? What did you win?
McDormand. She won best face.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
She won best actress in a drama motion picture. She was also nominated for. Oh, that was ages ago. Never mind. Yeah, she won best actress. Good. So yeah, this won at least 3 Golden Globes, maybe more. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with it.
I read something the other day that said just give all the awards to Frances McDormand, and then I think it was on the standee actually. Yeah.
Give all the actually saw that in here.
Oh yeah, and then make up a load of new awards and give all of those to her too.
Yeah. That was on the standee, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. It was just on Rotten Tomatoes.
Such a good quote. It was in white. Something lies.
Stop, because you're going to swing that. It's going to come off
my eye. Something about lies. What's that? Anyway. Yeah. And also, somebody said to me the other day when they were about to watch it, they were like, "Oh, have you seen this yet?" And I was like, "I saw it yesterday." I was like, "You're in for a treat. It's honestly one of the best films I've ever seen." And she went, "Oh, she looks like she's going to be amazing. She won a Golden Globe." I said, "Yeah, I know she did, or I know it did." She said the film had won it, and I said, "Yeah, I think she done." That's when I said, "I think she."
When was this? Sorry.
Just the day after we'd seen it. There was a woman in the screen. And I said that I thought she had won Best Actress, and she went, yeah. And then as I was leaving, she went, "She's not very attractive though, is she?"
Shouldn't win it.
I went,
take it back.
I went, "Oh." And she went, No, I'm just saying. It's surprising, isn't it? And I was like, what? That she's a good actress? That she won? It was very confusing.
Maybe she meant because it's surprising that she'd actually win that because we're in such a miserable world where we only like attractive people.
It was so funny. I don't think she meant that.
No, she probably didn't. She said, "Well, I'm prettier than her," so that's what she said.
It was very funny.
I hated myself for doing this yesterday, but I had to. I had a woman come up to me. She was in the queue at Baskin's.
Yeah.
And she turned around to me and went. She was like, "Oh," I was on the Dropbox, and she was going. "Oh." I was like, "What's wrong?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm going to be so furious if I miss the start of this film." She had one person in front of her in the queue. And then obviously I was thinking, fucking get here early and then you div.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking... It annoys me that you've not had to wait any time at all. But then also I did just go, "What was it you going to?" She went, 3 Billboards. And I just went round to the till. She had an unlimited card. So I just went, "Where do you want to sit?" "There." "Okay, good. There you go. Fucking go." And the only reason why I did it was like, because she was like, "I really don't want..." Because she actually was about to miss the start of the film.
Right,
I was like... I said to her, "I'm only doing this because the film's fucking fantastic." Yeah. Without the fucking, because... I would lose my job.
Don't give in to those people, Leo. That's how it...
Yeah, I know, but...
That's how it all goes downhill.
But she could have missed it because she could have been in a car accident.
She doesn't...
So you don't know anything,
She doesn't deserve to see the star if she's behaving like that.
She could be late for any reason. No, you're right, but I wanted her to see the star. Because I want appreciation for the film.
Yourself. Not from people like that.
Spoiler free.
Yes.
Let's start... Yes. Let's start spoiler free. Greatest revenge film ever. I'm joking. I'm going to class it as a revenge film. That's not the greatest revenge. Maybe it is. Maybe it's up there. One of the best revenge films ever.
I don't think it's revenge.
I think it is a revenge film.
Who's she getting revenge on?
Huh?
Who's she getting revenge on?
The police. It's not revenge. It is. I would call it revenge.
I don't think it's revenge. I would never class it as revenge.
I would.
Okay.
She wants revenge because something happened and she didn't get justice for it. So she's taking it back out on them. I'd say it's revenge.
Revenge, I would say, though, is like lashing out and doing something because
crazy
because you didn't
putting 3 billboards up.
But no, because she's not doing But revenge, I don't. Revenge,
well,
I would say,
she gets revenge in this.
It's just like, right, that's it. I'm going to kill them all now because I'm angry. What she's doing,
but she does do something crazy because they do something crazy to her. So it's still revenge in there.
Well,
there is.
I know, but what I'm saying is like. It doesn't feel like revenge because she's not just lashing out, and that's like, if it was revenge,
but she is in a very complex way.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is, if it was just revenge, then I can't say it 'cause it's a spoiler.
Okay, we're done. Well, here we go. See who you agree with. Do you think it's a revenge film or not in some way?
No, I haven't even had my chance to say why yet.
Yeah, but you said you can't. You've got a spoiler. So, well, you'll make the argument more. I'm just saying, if you only listen to the spoiler-free part, see if you think it's a revenge film or not.
No, say that once and we've both had a chance to say why.
Well, I'm just saying, if they don't listen to the spoilers, they only listen to the spoiler-free part. So I'll repeat it again.
Yes, go on.
No, carry on with what you're saying. You said you want to get. Okay, we'll wait for spoilers.
It's a spoiler.
Anyway, all right. Well, out of the non-spoiler stuff.
Yes.
The other main point I was going to make of this is the evidence of how you make such a great film when you don't pull any punches, which is what you like when I said when we came out.
Yeah.
You don't pull any punches and you're not trying to keep anyone happy.
No.
Which it certainly doesn't.
No.
I'm not saying it's offensive in the sense where it's trying to be offensive, but the characters are offensive because they are characters and that's how they are written.
Yeah.
It really bugs me with stuff when people go, it's so offensive what they said. Right, but do you not get angry at murderers in film because they're murderers? No, because they're a character and they're fictional, they're not real.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what they say in this film is incredibly offensive at times, and I think the bit where, all I will say is the bit she says on the swings, people will probably find quite hard.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that happens because it just shows the calibre of this, and it shows
and people will be like that in the world.
Exactly.
You can't just say, oh, I'm not going to say that because it's offensive. Well, people in
People
life don't do that. Yeah.
Most people are offensive.
Yeah, most people are. Yeah.
Especially that lead woman in it.
She's so rude.
Incredibly offensive.
Yeah.
Not so attractive.
Yeah, I'm so surprised that she was allowed to be on the telly to accept her award. She's not very attractive. She's offensive.
She's offensive. She fences.
When can we do spoilers? I
In
want
a
to make
second.
my point.
I was just going to say, the other bit, linking on to about not pulling any punches, is this, while this film is funny in time, well, I'll get about the humour in 2 seconds.
It's hilarious.
It's filled with really tense and thrilling moments, but when I'm saying about not pulling punches, it is incredible with its emotion. It is hard, like it is raw, and it gets really emotional at points. I don't think there's any point more, well, there is one point that you cried at, and Sammy at work actually cried at too.
Really?
He told me. He said that got me.
He's
going to
love you for saying that on the internet. Well done.
Yeah, and I can see why it didn't, because it's a bit longer. But then I think because of the immediate line towards the end of that bit.
Just wait for the spoilers because this isn't going to make any sense.
No, but I'm just saying. But if you do know it, because that
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, the bit that was incredibly emotional.
Yeah.
At the very end of that incredibly emotional bit.
Yeah.
It's not a he, it's a she, it's anyone. There is a bit, there is a line that I said it made me laugh, and it's about a joke. And I said that lightens it up. And every emotional bit in this film is very heavy.
Say that again though when we do spoilers, because that's...
Okay, I'll say that. I'm just saying people who haven't watched this yet, it is incredibly emotional to get really, like, the jokes, and the thing with the humour is, I didn't think all the jokes land well all the time, and I think again that because we had people laughing too much for certain jokes, but
and also I just find like when you have that sort of really amazing mix of like tragedy and kind of high comedy, not high comedy but like really real comedy, it's even better because in life when someone dies you don't stop laughing forever. There'll be, obviously you can be like awfully sad for like half a day, but something will make you laugh, and then you probably feel guilty about laughing, but you still laugh and it still happens, and often those are the times when things are funniest because all your emotions are heightened anyway, and that's what they don't sort of make light of or sort of shy away from the fact that does happen in real life, and that's what makes it feel so good and so real, because it's just true to...
Interesting you're saying that, because the last point I had on the non-spoilers was that the humour doesn't always land, but what's nice is they're not playing the humour up to the camera.
No.
The humour is, like you just said, it's real. It's some of the jokes aren't as funny.
Yeah.
But they sound like people would actually make those jokes. Yeah. They're not all like hilarious, some of them are funny and others, but it doesn't... They're not writing it to make the film funny, they're writing it because they think that's how they're speaking that time.
Yeah.
Because even though it is very like... Even though it's not always a laughing matter, and most of the time it isn't a laughing matter in this film, these people are quite psychotic. Yeah. And it is a laughing matter with some stuff, because they've never known that their life is pretty fucking hard on.
And I think where they live and everything has quite a lot to do with that, because it's a really different world to what we live in. It's sort of like the back end of nowhere, and things are different, laws are different, and it's quite behind the times in that way. Like people are still incredibly racist in that area, and... Yeah.
It's interesting how the people who aren't trying to be racist or aren't racist in this film
are still racist.
Are still like or just are like taking the piss out of people who are racist, as opposed to saying it's not right. They're sort of joking about saying you're still doing that. And anyway, Spoilers. That's
Yeah.
what I had to say for non-spoilers.
The point I was going to make...
Spoilers.
The point I was going to make is, I understand what you're saying about revenge, but what I would say a revenge film is just that somebody gets really angry and so they just lash out and they'll kill everybody or they'll do something terrible and then they'll be done and they feel good then because they've got their revenge. But she's doing things to make something happen. Because if it was revenge, she would just blow up the police station and that would be it. But she doesn't. She does these crazy things, but they don't feel revengeful. They feel like desperate. It doesn't feel like revenge.
But it's revenge fueled by desperation and by guilt. She's guilty herself, and but this is what I'm saying. It's not. I know you're saying that's what revenge, but it doesn't have to be that. It's still it's still vengeful. It's still she's doing this because but it is because she wants. But if her daughter hadn't have died, and if she didn't feel like it was if she didn't feel like there was no justice to it, would she be doing these things? No, she's doing them because she feels like.
No, but it still doesn't make it revenge. I don't think.
What does it mean? But it is because she wants she wants justice. Okay, but what I mean is revenge films can be about getting justice for something, and a lot of time, Western revenge film were about getting justice for something.
Okay, yeah, all right.
That's why I'm saying it's a very good one. Is because it's a lot more complex.
I could be wrong. I just thought that revenge is like.
Well, like I said, it's interpretation. I'm saying in my point of view, it's a very.
Well, no, it's not though, is it? Because I thought that the definition of revenge was just to sort of like lash out at somebody. But if you're trying to get an outcome, I thought that was something different.
But there's a lot of revenge films where they're very clever, and it's like I said, Elle's classed as a revenge film. Interestingly, but she doesn't just lash out, does she? It's very smart how it's done. It's still it's trying to find justice in something that you feel like you were treated wrongly for, which she does in this because she feels like there was never any justice or any solution to.
I guess it's as well because of her sort of weird relationship with Chief Willoughby as well, because it doesn't feel like a revenge, like she just out and out hates him. Like there is sort of a love-hate there.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why it didn't to me feel like a revenge.
It's right if it doesn't. Either. I'm saying, but it can be a little bit of interpretation because again it's not fact if it is something or not, because the same we said about horror. Sometimes you see horror as a genre very differently to how I do, and I will be quite openly say that's horror even if it's not. And you said you thought it was down to being scary, whereas I see horror as being down to the conventions within that film.
Yeah.
But I mean what I mean is that's why I said, and that's why I'm saying it's probably one of the greatest ones I've seen is because the sad thing about it, she wants revenge. I don't think she's really. And the thing you say about her relationship with if we can talk about relationships now, I think the thing with her relationship with the cops is she doesn't really hate them because they've done nothing wrong. They have with other stuff, but in terms of stuff with her daughter, even though she said, why has nothing happened? You find out in the film, which you don't from the trailers. Chief Willoughby hasn't done anything. He says to her, we've tried, there's nothing we can really do.
There's no DNA.
Whether there's an underlining, they could do more to that. Yeah. The truth is, they're not trying to be dicks about it. They're not trying to forget about it. They're not at all. And it puts her on the bad side of it. And the reason why and the thing is, I think she's fueled by guilt. She has guilt because of what she said to her daughter before she left. Yeah. And I think she more hates herself than she hates the police that she's trying to fight here.
Definitely, yeah. No,
that's what I mean. But she obviously takes it out on them, and she says it's wise. But it's not, and that's why in this film it's really interesting. Is a lot of people take the police side and say, you need to take this down, and because he's got cancer and he's dying, Chief Willoughby's dying, and what you've done is horrible. Which you can understand why a lot of people would feel like that, because, like I said, because
it's awful. It's so funny though. What she said.
Is that what you want to say on the swing? Is that a bit?
That's what I'm saying. Don't not say about that because it's such a great moment.
Well, yeah, when he's on the swings, and he said, do you know about his... She says to Chief Willoughby, well, I know you've got... She says, as in Mildred, the main character, says to him, I know you've got... He asked, and she's like, yeah, I know you've already got cancer. Then why are you doing this still? And he's like, because you wouldn't be very good if you were already kicking the bucket, pretty sure she says.
It's not going to be...
Which is horrible.
It's not going to be great after...
but it's fucking great, because that's what she's like. She is so, determined in this film.
And it's true. Not going to be any good if he's dead. No. So if you're going to do it, you're going to still do it while he's alive.
And it pays off lovely because then they said, "Do you want?" And then towards the end, when they put the billboards back up, they're like, "Do you want to still put the one with Chief Willoughby?" And she's like, he paid for it.
Yeah, he paid for it. Yeah, it's lovely, and it actually sort of becomes some sort of strange tribute to him.
Yeah,
in a
because
way.
because the thing is
So
because the interesting thing, it's not, even though they're up, it's not entirely a dig at the police. It's the whole idea of fueling to take action. It's trying to get people to take action. He's doing it. He's fun, even though it puts him in a bad light.
Yeah.
He clearly is That's the thing in this. He is a really genuinely good person, and he wants, in all their weird, fucked up ways, he is a good person. He wants the right things, and he doesn't care if he looks bad. He wants to help her daughter. Fuck me, there's been some good chats on this one today.
Yeah.
Intense. I was going to say about the narrative, that's why I think I loved it so much, as it is incredibly unpredictable, because it goes in completely insane directions.
Was this a book?
No, I think it's...
Because I cannot believe that...
I think it's just a completely original screenplay.
Yeah, I can't believe that either it wasn't based off of a book. Even if it was a book, incredible book, because... I just can't believe it's not a true...
Because it won original... It was
all
original films, I'm pretty sure, for Best Drama.
Original screenplay. Yeah, I can't believe... The detail and the sort of strange... Bless you. Bless you. The detail and the sort of strangeness of it, and how it's so like unpredictable and kind of non-linear, and it's a really strange idea to put up those billboards. It's just, you can't believe it's not true, because it sounds like an idea that somebody had because that had happened to them, and like why else would you think of that? Why else would you think of that as an idea? It's so clever.
It's what I thought about when we watched the first 5 minutes of this film. I was thinking, like, as I'm trying to big myself up, like, as being like a writer, trying to come up with ideas for stories, trying to come up with stories and like interesting little like things that you like to be like, why would you do this? What is the whole thing? Is the whole free billboards? You just kind of think that maybe one day, like, he just drove past free billboards and went, well, jot this little idea down, free billboards. Maybe leave a message on them, and then you kind of go from there. Which I'll say to you in our own time, that's what I did with ideas. I kind of go like that, and then...
I was thinking, I wonder if he's just ever thought, like, I wonder what you're allowed to put on a billboard or something. Like, do you know what I mean? I think there's a few ways. I think either he's driven past, like you said, some old ones and thought, oh, I wonder like how much it would cost to like rent those out or something. They're not used very much, or if he's put like, or if he's thought, I wonder what you're allowed to put on there, or if he's thought, if that ever happened or something like that, something terrible like that happened, how would you get someone's attention to like there's just obviously there's a ton of ways why you would come up with that, I guess, but it's just I want to know what it was, because it's flipping brilliant. It's just so original. It's awesome. I love it.
I want to watch it again.
Yeah, so do I.
Saying about the narrative, I think that's what I mean why it's so unpredictable and goes in this directions, is because it doesn't have, no one has these roles to, like we've already said, and you said it about Grisham, no one has these roles to fill.
Yeah.
It's all, well, these there, and if there's no heroes and villains, and if there are, then they're in reverse. She is more of a villain than Chief Willoughby is. I'm not sure about Sam Rockwell's character. Dixon is sort of more of the villain, but what I'm saying is there's no antagonist and no protagonist, really. It's all messy. It's all that's what makes it more interesting, is you don't know anything any of them are going to do, and you can't predict what they do in this film. It's fucking insane half the time. It goes so over the top and it works perfectly. Yeah.
I mean, she is not totally a good person. But,
not at all. That's what I'm saying. If there is hero and villain, it's backwards. She's more of the villain, if I'm honest, in this.
Apart from the billboards, like knowing he had, if he didn't have cancer and everything, then I'd be like, well, sod it. Like, that's a great way to get their attention. Yeah. Obviously, but then, like you say, I mean, they had been looking. I don't know. She doesn't do that much bad stuff. I thought that she did worse than she actually did. But thinking about it now, she hasn't actually done that. I know she like drove drunk with the kids.
She torched the police station when it wasn't end up being them. The stuff with like, well, a lot of stuff. The way she talked to her kid, like the way she acts with her kid, like none of it's healthy. In other words, none of it's. No. But that's what I mean. Like there isn't heroes villain, because not everything she does is bad. Everything she does is good. It's all down to. With all these characters, it's all about how they've been treated and mistreated in life.
I think you end up loving her anyway, because I think you can really.
She's a badass.
Yeah, and I think everyone can kind of see themselves in her, like.
Do you know what I respect most about her? She stands for what she believes entirely, and does not falter. She's like the uncensored version of everybody.
She's like what you would want to be and what you would want to say and do.
Yeah, exactly. Completely agree. Which we can talk more about if you want, because we go straight onto her, because the next thing is characters. What I was going to say about her. That's the thing first. Like you said, she's completely unleashed. Yeah. And she's fucking horrendous. Like I said, what she said to her daughter, saying, I hope you get raped as well. It's horrible, but it's so believable, because. I'm not saying maybe not to that caliber, but people do say horrible things like that to each other, and it just so happens how sucky it is that something like that happened right after it was said. Yeah. And that's why this whole film's fueled, is because she probably feels incredibly guilty about that. Yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't have included that bit in the film, because they didn't show anything else of her daughter, really.
No. And I'm really glad, actually. Yeah, no, I'm glad.
I'm glad they did that because it put her in a worse light. It didn't make her work out.
No, and I actually thought, oh no, they're going to start doing a ton of flashbacks now. And I'm really glad that they didn't. They just showed that one because that's literally all you needed, and you totally got.
And it didn't lighten up the light. No. It didn't the light. It wasn't lighting. It was just like a really blunt.
Yeah, and you also you just got the this. It feels like there was more flashbacks because you just got such an amazing sense of like their whole life.
Yeah. The whole
together,
family.
like that's what I mean. All three of them, and well, obviously the husband you see on and off, but you never see him. Like obviously he beat her and stuff, but you never see any of that. But you just from that one flashback, you just got such an amazing sense of everything. It's just so cleverly done. Like you say, it wasn't like weird lighting or anything. It was just like a jolt into it and straight back out, and it was so good.
Another thing that's said is to do with has to do with the plot. It's about building the characters. Like you said, like her relation, like the way she talks to everyone's fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
And like I said about being you're like everyone when they're not sort of like caged back. So like she kicks the kids in the which I absolutely love that bit. She gets that obviously throw I think it's like a drink at the car, like the windscreen of her car. This is what I think you said about her, like why I respect her. She completely stands up for what she believes because she doesn't like her son. She must feel guilty about like the whole the whole reason this film is fueled is because she feels guilty about what happened to her daughter. Yeah. But then when she should be feeling guilty about what's going to happen to her son, or like worried about her son for getting like picked on or getting beaten up for what she's doing, because he does get picked on for this.
Putting those boards up and stuff, like he says, like thanks very much, like that you wrote raped while dying. Like, I didn't want to know. I didn't read.
Just remind me. He said you have to remind me every.
But she'd given him the police reports, hadn't she, for him to read? But she never. Obviously, it comes out that she never even asked if he read them. He never told her if he read them.
Did he say he'd never known?
He said he didn't want to know.
I thought he just said I didn't want to get reminded of it all the time.
Well, he said as if I don't think about her enough all the time.
Yeah.
Now I have to sort of know and see that she was raped while dying, because she said, "Well, I gave you the police reports," and he says, "Well, I didn't read them. I didn't want to know that." And so, but that. Like kind of comes out that she never even bothered to ask if he'd read them or if he was okay, and he'd never told her. So yeah, it just kind of came out in that kind of awfully blunt way, and she drives him past it every night. She
doesn't do too much about how he's feeling. No. She just sort of goes, "Well, this is my." Yeah. She's being selfish completely, but like totally, and I'm glad she is because it fits a bit. It doesn't make like I said, it isn't this whole like I have to be a good person. She is. She's doing what she's doing because she believes in what she's doing. She kicks the shit. She kicks like she kicks like a boy and girl. Well, they're not children. They're teenagers in the nuts and just puts back in the car. And no one does anything because I reckon in real life most people probably wouldn't do anything even if there is parents around. They'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah, I think
unless they're your kids.
Quite scared of her. Yeah. I loved that bit as well with the Rice Krispies, and she flicked the Rice Krispies at his face because it wasn't
the entire spoon. Yeah, it wasn't like
no, and and I thought that could have turned into a real like horribly like loving moment where he's like, oh mama, like maybe if he threw something back at her or something, but it just happened,
and then he just went kind of like, what the fuck,
fuck's sake, and then went outside, and then he just left the Rice Krispies in his head, but it wasn't like an ongoing thing. No. Like it was just like it was just a good.
The only ongoing thing, the only thing I think they re-brought up was him calling her a cunt, and then they bring that back up. Excuse my language.
Oh my god.
It's explicit. Him saying that, and then obviously they bring it back up at the end because he calls her an old cunt, and then she says, "I'm not old," which is quite funny. But like, she's great. They're great
and
together.
She says, "No more."
Yeah.
In this house, and he says, "Oh, are you moving out?"
Yeah.
That's so good. That was in the flashback, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, she's brilliant in it, and I was gonna say about her relationships and because like I said with her son, she is relentless. She isn't kind at all to him. She does not help him at all. No. With it, she's just more worried about getting. Like I said, it's because she's being selfish because she's worried about herself and she feels guilty. Yeah. It's the soul of it, and you don't really find out until the flashback.
And even with what's his character name in it?
It's the son.
Who she goes on the date with. I can't remember what he's called.
Peter Dink's character?
Yeah.
Peter Dink. Peter Dink.
Peter Dink.
Pete
I can't remember what his name was.
Peter Dink. Peter. I'm just making this nice one actually.
Well, you look for his name where you look, doesn't he?
Peter Dink.
It doesn't matter, it's just annoying.
It's just James.
Oh, I swear they kept saying his name. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Anyway, when she goes on that date with him, like she's horrible to him as well. Like he totally.
That doesn't end well either.
Like he massively helped her out. Like he lied to the police for her. Like he could have gone to prison for that, but he lied for her. And then when she's like, "Don't give me any grief. Like we'll do it in another night." And he's like, "Why would I want to do this another night? Like you're Like you've been awful.
She shits him. She doesn't care. She's not involved in it. It's like,
that's what I mean. She's like to everybody, and yet still love her. It's because she talks to her slippers. That bit is so wonderful.
My favourite role in this, going on to the next character, is Sam Rockwell as Dix in this.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Because he turns...
I can't lie, I was a little bit worried he was going to overplay it at the start.
I kind of know what you mean.
He started to seem a bit like a silly... Yeah,
but that made the arc more fulfilling and more like...
It did, but do you know what I mean? Just at the very start, I thought he's going too far with it.
Yeah.
Just at the start.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Because he was more comical. He was like a stupid cop.
Yeah.
But then they kind of filled him out a lot more with that.
Which was fine.
The whole idea of like turning from one side to the other, like I'm kind of like, well, I don't really... It's like having like... We've said about it, this film didn't need to have people having arcs. People were just people. Which is why they still were... Even though you started liking him a lot more.
Yeah.
He's still not... They've gone to go kill someone.
Yeah, and he still obviously was torturing...
Yeah, he's still done terrible things.
I don't know if it was women as well. I was going to say black men and women, but I don't know.
No, but he's been a terrible cop in that voice. He's completely...
He's an awful person.
But what's interesting
he told his mother
that,
he's going to shoot her, he's going to blow her head off. Like, he's awful, but
then what's interesting about this, I don't know about you, but I feel a little, like, sorry for him. Because I feel like when you see him in the fire, and when you see him when Willoughby dies, his reaction, you saw that, you kind of see that he's never had...
Yeah,
he's never had anything better. He's never known how to treat people, how to act in that kind of situation, because he's never... Clearly from his mum, completely...
Do you know what I didn't get? He says, oh, don't say that on the TV or whatever about me torturing black people, because my mum watches this channel and she's going to see it or whatever, and she doesn't like that. But then later she says something really, really racist to him.
Maybe she just doesn't like the idea that he did it. I don't know.
It was just strange because it...
Yeah, because she seems just as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Fuck knows.
Maybe she thinks the line, he's crossed the line actually torturing. I don't know, but she seems really... I can't remember what she says now.
He was fucking great. His whole arc was great.
He was brilliant. And actually, I think, even though at the start, like I say, I thought he was going to overplay it, because he kind of stuck so well to it, and he kind of didn't break it at any point. It didn't, it felt true, because he carried it through.
Yeah.
And like you say, had that arc, and he changed so much by the end.
Even by the end, he wasn't like this now heroically good person. They still
he's still an absolute train wreck. But
he was on the side of trying to get justice for the people that deserve justice.
Yeah. And I think like we said, he obviously didn't ever have anybody in his life that he could look up to or
to teach him what was wrong and what was right.
Yeah. And then all it took was literally that one letter from Willoughby to
he gets
say...
Bloody, so he gets picked on a lot by the looks of it, and they've just, like I said, no one ever says you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't have done that to those people. They just say you're an idiot for doing that. Like, just take the piss out of it. It's not like he's...
And when you get labelled as like a bad kid, that's you then, and to you you're a bad kid, so what's the point in trying to do good stuff, because people already labelled you as that. You're going to carry on doing it, and that totally felt like it sort of took one person to say it to him that he cared about, and then he obviously changed. And I didn't mind that kind of huge shift in character, because it felt like that was definitely the first time somebody had ever said something like that to him. So, sometimes you'll go like, oh, they've just totally changed their character now just because that one person said something, but actually it felt definitely like it had never happened before, so it was fine.
Loved it. I loved him in it.
So good.
It's fucking great. And then last off is Woody Harrelson as Chief Willoughby.
Brilliant.
Who was and he didn't really change much, but the whole way through he was great, because he didn't always do he was just a person. He wasn't he was probably the kindest person in this, or the most closest to being like a good person. Yeah. I don't think he did much bad shit in this. Like I said, he didn't have anything to do with the daughter getting raped.
He did leave his kids by water.
I thought that, but
I was Jesus Christ.
It's bad, but I think it was the whole idea, he was so strict with them not leaving that circle. It was kind of cute how he did it.
Oh,
yeah. He did that, but
no, and it wasn't that bad. Just I was like, great parenting.
Yeah.
No, but I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean that. So he's a bad person. That was quite funny.
Yeah. He was good in it as well. He was classic Woody Harrelson. Great.
So it was his last
day
on Earth.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Yeah.
But yeah, he was wonderful in it.
Yeah.
All the side casting, the son was great. Peter Dinklage was funny in this. It's pretty funny. He didn't do masses, but what he did do was pretty funny in it. I think Peter Dinklage is fucking great. I just think that he has picked some wrong things to be in.
He definitely has, yeah.
But
so have a lot of people.
Yeah. And like, but most of
great.
the
It's
fallback
really
he
good.
got was in X-Men. People were like, meh, and then obviously in Destiny for the voicing work. But I think that was more the scripting than his actual voice.
And Elf. He's also an elf.
Is it now? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's like the dad's manager person. I can't remember, his editor or something. Anyway, great choice. Great choice.
Caleb Landry, which is Jones, which is the guy that's thrown out the window. The brother from Get Out.
Wonderful.
He's really good in it.
He is very good. I want to see more of him.
Yeah,
I want to see much more of him.
He was great.
Yeah.
They were already good. The whole cast was.
I wondered
great.
if he was going to be one of those actors in Get Out. He seems like one of those, those people that go to drama school and they'll do like one amazing sort of intense audition and everyone will be like, that's it, they're amazing forever. But then they kind of just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Even though I said how insanely good he was in Get Out. What?
Huh?
What?
Why am I smiling? Because I'm smiling. Just because when you say that drama school, it's really funny because I'm going to show you a picture now quick. Sorry, just because you're saying like drama school, that'll make you think what you're saying even more.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I saw that and was like
one of the foxes there.
Oh.
What's his name?
Caleb Landry.
It's like one of the Fox children. They're like
It's
Lawrence
funny
Fox,
because you
Amelia
said that,
Fox,
and I
all
thought
of them.
I was like, oh, he looks like a very prestigious actor.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, no, I wondered. I thought, he's really, really good at doing that. But I wonder if the next thing I see him in, he's going to play a really creepy, intense guy. And then the next thing I see him in, he's going to play a really creepy, intense guy. So I was actually really happy that, like, I think this is the only thing I've ever, the second thing I've seen him in. But I was really pleased seeing him do something else and doing it really well because I think he's awesome. I want to see him in so much more now. Yeah, he was great.
Anything else to say for this? That's a very good question.
Just brilliant, and go and see it because just go and see it. It's amazing.
I think we've said most stuff. I was going to expect the relationships between them, like we said about already. Though I said Mildred and Willoughby's relationship is fucking lovely. It's a love-hate. It's really nice how it ends up. His final stuff with her, like, and they don't care about anyone else knowing. Like I said, like his wife is. Willoughby's wife's horrible, like hates her, thinks it's her fault. Everyone thinks it's her fault that he killed himself, but
apart from him.
Apart from the two of them, and she doesn't care to tell anyone that.
No,
she doesn't go, oh look, so he gave me a letter. He just.
It's really nice to see someone that goes, well, I know, so I don't need to go and tell everyone else. It doesn't matter to me.
Her and Dixon's relationship changed just I think after he dived out the window of her. She saw what he dived out with, and I love that because she ran up to an oh fuck, and she was shocked that she'd set up the police station on fire with someone in it, and obviously she's not a killer, so she scared the shit out of her. And then she saw the notes, and she didn't run away. She like just stood there and was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
And was saying that because she felt bad and it had a bit of a change for him.
I was gonna say about her character as well. I think that like people are gonna love her so much, just also for the fact that there's so many things about her that you go, I wish I was more like that. I wish that I could just not give a crap and I'd just do what I... Not selfish, not in those ways, but I think people will want to be more like her in those ways, and like the thing with her not going, oh look, he gave me this note, and just her knowing was enough, but also see that she's really selfish at times and go, oh that I'm really like that. She's just such a great character. She's such an interesting person. And I was just going to say about her love-hate relationship with Willoughby, it's really nice to see a love-hate relationship that one is that good and two isn't actually like a love relationship, like a boyfriend-girlfriend love-hate relationship. No, it's just two people and they're not even friends.
These people all have lived in the same town.
They just know each other.
Lives, so just everyone.
It's really nice to see that because it's just something really different. I can't think of anything else that I've seen.
And it wasn't like everyone knows everyone because sometimes I won't buy that, but it's like all the main people. I said you Mildred West, like they kind of
people know of people. That's really interesting.
Yeah, her relationship, and then I said about her relationship with Dixon when after he died at window, they sort of start forgiving each other because she doesn't care what he's like. She just cares that he helped her at that point. And that's what she cares most about. And by the end, like I said, they're both pretty bad fucking people. Willoughby's gone. They've now got no restrictions. They've just gone, should we go kill this guy? And kill the guy who obviously didn't end up not raping her daughter and killing her, but
again, such a good
is a
ending.
rapist. I mean, you don't even know he's a rapist. They've not said No one said he's done anything, that guy. He's obviously an idiot. He was bragging about something that didn't happen. All that was hinted at is the other cop said to him, like, I can't tell you it's classified, but all you need to know is he didn't do anything in this country.
Yeah.
Or while he was in this country.
But he did something somewhere else.
I really wish we saw that. It's so annoying because I really wish we got to see him go around there, but I'm glad where it ended.
Yeah,
because I wonder how it's going to go down. Because the way this,
but you don't even know if they do it.
Well, I know, but imagine how perfectly written it would have been if they did it. Like, I mean, like, you can know, you wouldn't be disappointed with how it ended, but at the same time, you don't want to see it because it leaves it open.
No, I completely agree.
Because where does it go from there? They're just going to get arrested, or it's just perfect.
Or are they just not going to do it, and then they'll just go back to their lives and it'll just be miserable forever. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, as well, you just totally believe that these people have lived before, and I feel like they're still.
Yeah, their characters. They're not. This isn't the end. The start of the story and the end of their story.
No,
it's just part of their story
in the middle, which is lovely.
Last thing I was going to say about is just slippers, just to end on. Have you got anything else to say? Because I was going to end.
I said about the slippers. I didn't go into it. I'm just saying. I mentioned it. Just saying. I thought of it first.
Just how I love bits like the bit where she's talking to her slippers, because people definitely do that.
Yeah.
And scenes like that needs to be in it because she looks crazy, but. You're watching her, she's a fucking psycho, but everyone knows that they do stuff where if you put it on camera,
you would look
nuts.
like you were a serial killer.
Yeah. Out of 10?
9.8.
No, 8.
I said 9.9.
I'll match that. And I'll match that. 9.8.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. Probably in the top 10 somewhere.
Yeah.
Up there, never there.
For sure.
Henry where?
My top 10 that doesn't exist. And I just go, that's definitely in my top 10.
Fuck news this week because we're fucking quite far in. And
well.
There's loads of news, but you missed it.
The news is that we're back.
We're back, bitches. Yeah.
That's all the news you need to know. We'll be back next week as well.
Yeah. Well, I will say, just because it's a bit of big news, you fancy watching some X-Men film? They've been all shuffled about.
Yeah, so you can't.
Deadpool's been pushed 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
So it's now a week in front of Solo, a Star Wars story. Probably going to make some money before Star Wars comes out.
Smart.
New Mutants has been pushed back by 10 months.
I think a lot more people are excited for Deadpool than for Solo just because of
because all the stuff about Solo. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I just haven't heard many people talking about it, if I'm honest.
No.
So.
I've heard people talking about the bins outside though.
I've heard people talking about the rumbling of the bins.
Alright, we should probably go.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
It's been a nice...
Good to be back.
Fuck me, yeah, this has been an intense one.
Excuse me? Don't swear on this podcast.
How dare you?
You filthy piece of shh.
Oh, you should have said it. Really funny. I'll bleep it out and make it sound like you said it. Make it sound like you had the balls like Mildred would.
I'd love it if
Mildred would have said it.
Shut up, you filthy piece of shit.
That's better. Alright. Goodbye everyone. You know where to find us. I'm not saying it. I'm tired of fucking saying it. I'm joking. I'm saying weeks.
Son of a bitch.
Goodbye. Oh, you're not saying goodbye?
No, I already said my goodbyes.
Alright. Goodbye.